Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and in today's episode, we're going to do things just a little bit differently. Now, if you're brand new here and you just clicked on this video, then welcome to Grizzly True Crime. I hope that you will subscribe, hit the bell, and stay as part of this wonderful community. To those of you who are OGs, original Grizzlies, and you've been here from the beginning, thank you so much for being ride or die Grizzlies. And for those of you who've just discovered me recently, maybe from the Debbie Collier case coverage or Kiely Rodni's case coverage or something like that, welcome and thank you for being here. Here at Grizzly True Crime, there's a vibe, and you'll quickly learn what the vibe is and what it isn't. I do find that sometimes other content creators might be describing the vibe incorrectly. Here at Grizzly True Crime, we're not attacking victims of crime or their families. Sometimes we may have some red flags, okay, for people surrounding the case. Sometimes families could be a red flag. Do we attack them? No. We wait patiently, observe. We look at the bullet points, timeline, map time. Let's look at the facts. Let's look at the number we can call in case we see something. Can we say something? Can we help? That's the vibe. So you see, sometimes, of course, in true crime, the stats will show if it's a murder case, it's very often someone who knew the victim. That's like basic true crime 101. Right?
I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. Please bring it back.
Why do I want to make this video today? I feel that I just need to say a few things because not only will I feel that many of you will be able to relate to this, but I also want to say it because I just feel it's time. I've been on YouTube for just over a year now. Now, I know that's not very long. I started in June, at the end of June of 2021. I think my first episode was uploaded on June 26th, and it was a podcast episode that I'd converted into a video. So I just put some nice footage, over my audio, and that was my first video. And then I talked a little bit about the Chris Watts case. I talked about Jeffrey Dahmer and all these things. Some of the videos are either 9 members only, or I deleted them because it's just like, damn, the quality, you know how it goes. If you started a YouTube channel, the quality is so crap. When you start, there's so much to learn. Oh my word. So the thing is, since I started, you know what my vibe is, and it's going to make so much sense once you understand this. There might be an energy some people are picking up on, and I want to explain that, okay? Because it's going to make so much more sense, and then at least if you are subscribed or if you're going to subscribe, then you know where we stand, and you know what we do on this channel and what we don't do, okay? Number one, what we don't do is attack the victims of crime and their families. Of course, we look at everyone. The victim. We are team victim of crime, always. Team Naomi Irion. Team Kiely Rodni. Team Gabby Petito. You see what I mean? You get the vibe? So go back, look at all my content, and you'll see. That's the team we're on, first and foremost. So it doesn't mean turn a blind eye to all family members, because sometimes family members are damn well shady. Look at the Debbie Collier case. Let me quickly address that. Do I really think that Andrew is smart enough to calculate his court fees and then transfer exactly that and murder Debbie over it? No. Did I say that? No. People put a lot of words in my mouth, you know what I mean? And mock me over it. It's very interesting to watch. I'm always like, oh, wow, okay. And I love it. It's my favorite thing, being underestimated. Trust me, it motivates me beyond anything. So you carry on, bullies. Yes, I'm used to it. I was an airline pilot for 9 years in a very misogynistic, full of sexual harassment environment with a bunch of drunks who thought they had, I don't know what, red carpets wherever they went. This is nothing. I'm used to it. I was in a metal tube, sitting up there in the sky for hours upon hours upon hours with misogynistic bullies. So literally, when this happens on YouTube to me, I laugh. It's silly. It's small energy, as I call it. Sorry, but it is what it is. So the thing is, go ahead. If that's what you want to do with your platform, okay, cool. Right. So what I do over here, the vibe you're going to get is not sensational, hyped, conspiracy crazy. No. It's adrenaline. Okay. I operate on a very high level of adrenaline and anxiety. Unfortunately, it's part of it, you know what I mean? Hi, everyone with PTSD, you'll understand. So the thing is that when I was growing up, here's a few things, important things to know about me. When I was growing up, right, my very narcissistic parents were like, you'll be a swimmer. And I was a swimmer, okay? But from when I was age 6, and I'm an only child. So swimming, trophy daughter, off you go. I swam 6 days a week, twice a day, many hours, lots of training, spent so many hours of my life in the pool. Did it pan out? Did I go to the Olympics? No. Was I top 10 in the country when I was 16 years old? Yes. But did I make it? No, because I went deaf. Now, have you ever heard that in your life? Yes, I went deaf. Okay? So sometimes when people say, your sound's too high, your sound's too low, the music is this, it's kind of a pet peeve. You know why? Because I was deaf for 2 years. And my ears are still not so great. They're not bad, but I have bionic stirrups. The smallest bone in your body is called a stirrup. Mine calcified. And there's reasons for that. They say it's either genetics or trauma, and you can take a guess which one that would be. Anyway, so the point is I went deaf. Swimming career ended because I was out of the water for so long. I mean, I used to be like so lean. I had 12% body fat and an 8-pack because I was a butterfly swimmer. You know what butterfly swimmers are? Endurance swimmers. Stamina. I have tremendous stamina and a huge amount of resilience, because this all sounds all nice and sweet and great and whatever, but like I've been through a lot of trauma too. We're talking all kinds. I'm not going to name them here. Oh, hell no. It might even be trigger words for YouTube. So the thing is, swimming. Let's look at that for 1 second. It's time critical, right? You train the entire year, 6 days a week, twice a day, all the time, to maybe better your time in a race by half a second if you're lucky. Sometimes like 0.2 of a second. And then you're proud of yourself. Small wins mean a lot, okay? In the swimming world. And then after that, I got a scholarship to be a South African Airways commercial pilot. I was a cadet pilot, group number 15. Off I went. I was one of 8 chosen out of 4,000 applicants. Very lucky to get in, but I also chose the scenario and applied out of survival to get away from home for a little bit so that I could maybe just take a time out and cope with some of the trauma I'd just been through, which I shall not mention. So the point is, yeah, conquered that. I've conquered that. Okay, I did it. I've overcome these types of people, and I truly believe I can get along with anyone because I've conquered the worst people on earth. I've met some real evil, and once you see evil, you can't unsee it, okay? So here's the thing. When I was an airline pilot, what do you think it's about? Bullet points, manuals, time pressure, okay? Super pressured situations, okay? So I'm built for YouTube. Why? Because of all that experience. Why did I quit flying? I couldn't take it anymore. No matter, it wasn't my dream job, number one. It was a decision to apply for a scholarship out of survival, and I was just lucky enough to get in. And not even lucky, I worked really hard to get in, but also they saw something in me. They saw a twinkle in my eye. They thought it's like, damn, the determination, that resilience, yes. But you know what else it was? Survival. So anyway, I quit because I was tired of being objectified, bullied, sexually harassed, literally, it's just icky to talk about. I don't want to. I didn't like sitting there, up there all day in a metal tube with these people. Yes, I'm a people person. So for me, people can make or break something. You know, if I live somewhere where I'm surrounded by people that I absolutely can't stand, it's not a happy place for me and I need to move. Luckily, right now, I'm quite happy. You know why? Because I got all you people. I've got all the Grizzlies. I love the people of this community so much. I know I don't say it enough because I struggle to, verbalize things like that. Like say, I love you, man. If you're in my life, if you like if I consider you a close friend, even if we've never met in person, I know some people be like, they can't be your friend. You've never met them. To me, they are, okay? They're as real as if I met them. Some of my close friends that are watching right now, you'll know what I'm talking about. Then you know, I don't very well articulate, I love you, I appreciate you, because it's very hard for me. I'm shy, okay? Number one. But two, let me say this. I love this community. I freaking love the Grizzlies. You guys make me so proud. This is why I work so hard, 7 days a week. Because if I'm not making a video on here every day, then I'm definitely doing something on Patreon or YouTube membership or my other channel, huh? Or I'm designing merch for you, notebooks for you. I'm doing something. I'm researching for you. I'm doing so much for you guys because I freaking love you guys, right? So thank you so much for being part of this community. Now, the thing is, I want to say one more thing about the piloting. That type of training, never mind having parents who believe in tough love and the boot camp approach to everything. Then there's the swimming. Then there's being an airline pilot. High pressure. Now, I did so well in high pressure situations and always have. Like literally at school on a field trip, right? It was actually like a week away in Belito in South Africa. This one dude was drowning. Someone swam out into the ocean, rough waves, and they were like, I was watching everything. I was a true crimer then already, and that's not now true crime, unless a shark is the perpetrator. Didn't see a shark, but you know what I mean. This person, I was watching everyone. I'm the swimmer, but am I in the water? No, I'm standing on the beach watching everyone. And I saw this person swimming, into this one little area where there's like rocks and stuff. And then suddenly they didn't look okay. Man, I darted into that water and literally rescued that person out because I also had some life-saving experience, right? Literally, I was a lifesaver. I was the youngest lifesaver at like age 6. Okay, my parents put me into lifesaving at age 6. I don't know. Anyway, but lifesaving is part of my training. CPR was part of my training as well as a pilot. Hello, you're responsible for people's lives, so you do a lot of training with lifesaving. We did firefighting training as well. We do so much. I'm not going to rattle off all the training, otherwise we'll be here all day. But you get the point. I thrive under pressure, okay? So much so that at South African Express Airways, I literally got an award for how I handled an emergency situation. And the situation was flying at night in the rain. So obviously dark, rain, crosswind, everything. And lightning struck the engine of this Dash 8. And fuel and oil were just leaking out all over the place. Passengers were screaming. Okay, I know you're going to be curious now, so let me just answer this quickly. Landed the plane, the brakes didn't work, the wheels locked, the wheels burst into flames, we evacuated. No one had their phones on them because everything was in their overhead lockers and things like that. Everyone just ran out of the plane, and for some odd reason, I was the only one standing on the tarmac with a phone. And they're like, whoa, you even remembered your phone and all that. I didn't just have a phone. I had a phone and a Tempo bar. It's a type of chocolate, right? Because I knew with that adrenaline, you're going to need some sugar now, honey, otherwise you're going to pass out. So I like crammed the chocolate in my mouth, sugar in, phone out, call emergency services and everything, and off we go. I really thrive under those scenarios because I'm like built for it. I've been trained for this my whole life with everything I've done. Okay, and don't get me started on my police officer, the former police officer, biological father, and what he trained me for. You'll be shocked. Some of you have heard it on some of my members-only cycles and things like that. So the CEO of South African Express Airways at the time gave me an award. Like there was literally an award ceremony and everything because of the way I handled pressure. Why? Because of people's lives. I care about people's lives. Literally, it matters so much to me. Okay. Okay. So the point is, okay, let's get back on track. The point is, for me, it's obvious that when a person goes missing, they're missing. It's time critical. The first 48 hours matter so much. Otherwise, beyond that, it gets harder and harder to find the person or to solve the case, right? So you'll see if I cover a missing persons case, like I did with Kiely Rodni on August 8th. She went missing on August 6th. She was reported missing that night of August 6th. On Monday morning, August 8th, there I was preparing everything because it's time sensitive. Did I know the case would become like that, so viral and so crazy? No. And if you look at the Gabby Petito case, where some people are, you blew up because of that case. Yes, because of the urgency. I think some people like the urgency that I bring to the table. For me, it is an urgent matter. And yes, I feel in some ways a little bit helpless because I'm not physically there. But even if I lived in America, I'm married to a European, by the way, that's why I live in Europe. Even if I lived in America, though, and I was like boots on the ground, I would have to like be 10 places at once. It would be even harder for me because I'd want to be everywhere trying to help out. So all I can do is, this is my scenario. This is where I live. This is my life circumstance. So what can I do? Use my voice. The voice that people used to silence, okay? I can use my voice and literally make an impact. Now, with that comes great responsibility. I do believe that if you have a YouTube platform, especially in true crime, this is the craziest genre you could ever be in. And just remember, the true crime community, it includes spirit boxers and psychics and everything. And I don't see anyone attacking them. What are you guys going to say about them? Because they felt things and saw things and know things that literally make no sense right now. Do you know what I mean? The point is, true crime is already a very, very difficult genre to navigate. And you have to be extremely responsible and have a lot of character to be able to sustain it, to be able to do it responsibly without overstepping a line. Now, there are two ways in which I overstepped the line, in my personal opinion, in the Kiely Rodni case. Number one, I think I got a little too snarky with Sammy, which is what the problem was. I still think everything she said is a red flag. I've actually got notes for this. For instance, when she said the car has a sunroof, it doesn't appear to have a sunroof at all. Okay. When she said it's got a bull sticker, but it's a ram sticker, but maybe she was just super high and didn't really know about the sticker. She saw a bull, it's a damn ram. When she said that Kiely called her at 12:36 and she could hear a party in the background, but now we can literally see a vehicle going into the water at 12:33, 12:34. Oh man, that's still weird. You know what I mean? That she was drinking from the same cup and all night and they were going around like a little pair, but yet Sammy was fine, but Kiely can't even walk. Weird. She said that the police are getting millions of calls a day when really, they had 200 tips at that point. What else? There's so many things. I'm looking. I've got all sorts of things. The point is, saying that something's a red flag, I don't believe is destroying someone's life. Now, where did I go too far? I think where I went too far was the snarky approach at adding the applause in that presentation that I made when we analyzed her interviews for like the third time. And the reason I added the applause was because I'm like, wow, well done. Do you think we believe any of that? But it was just a little bit as me. I'm a 38-year-old woman. This chick's 18 years old. I'm 20 years older than her, right? So for me to maybe like come down so hard on her, I get it. I'll be more gentle, okay? Sometimes I get angry, and it does show. And I really try to keep the reins on that anger. Why do I get angry? Because I think she's a shitty friend. I didn't buy any of the things she was saying. I think she's being a shitty friend or pretending to be a good friend of hers. Why not just say, I was so drunk and high, I didn't see anything. I don't know. I saw she's stumbling around, but I just left. I'm left with a really hot guy or something. Say something that makes sense. I still think there's some shady stuff over there. Did I ever connect the dots of like, this person murdered that person? No. I'm just saying it's a red flag and we need to keep on looking at that. That's what I mean by red flag. I don't know. Have I got a different definition of it or something? For me, a red flag is like, oh, that's a caution. It's like in the aircraft. We literally had caution lights and warning lights. That's a warning light is like, now we're taking action. It might as well be like, put the shackles on someone. But a caution light is like, caution. It's a caution. Pin this in your mind. Caution. Let's look at the manual. Let's look at what happened and discuss all the options. That's what we did. That's what I do. Okay. So I hope this is all cohesive by the end of this, because I hope it makes sense that you're understanding the vibe on Grizzly True Crime. Time critical. Bullet points, map time so we can visually see where, what, and some people will then recognize, oh yeah, I live there. I actually live kind of close to there. Maybe I could help out. Maybe I could film some footage or go and ask a question or look around to see if I can just stay safe. But if I can see something and then you can say something and call in a tip or be like, you know what? I was actually there the other day. And you know what I saw? Yes, I did. And then you call it in. It can help. The power of social media is great, but it comes with great responsibility. So that's what I was saying. The number one thing I think I overstepped the boundary on was applauding what I perceived to be Sammy's show, like on Tony Dodge's channel, where she looked very like impressed with herself and sharing what she shared. And I'm like, I am sorry for doing that. The second thing I feel like I have been perceived as overstepping a boundary on, but yet I have learned from this, is in sharing Kiely Rodni's preliminary death certificate that I actually paid for as well. Why is that wrong? Why? Because I just think, number one, in my gut, it feels like that was a little too soon. But why did I do it? Why did I choose to do it? The reason I chose to do it is because I saw the trend already online. The conspiracies were already building online. So I was trying to help the situation not get out of hand. But in doing so, things were clearly misconstrued and they offended people. So to those of you that I offended by reading Kiely Rodni's preliminary death certificate, I'm sorry that I offended you. I was actually trying to protect Kiely and the family in that scenario by not letting it get out of hand and just saying it isn't fake. This is where you get it from. This is the source. Get it for yourself. Let's not come up with this. It's a fake death certificate and all that, right? I think that's still going around though. So I don't think it helped. So in future, I won't do that. I won't do something just to try to stop something else. People can do whatever they want. Each person has their tribe. You know what I mean? And there's an audience for everything. And unfortunately, there will be an audience for all sorts of things that I might feel like very protective over, right? It's not my place. So what did I learn from it? Will I be sharing a victim's death certificate and reading the autopsy out loud on the channel again? No, probably not. Unless I absolutely have to, but I don't see any scenario in which that is needed. Because I also do like to do my best to maintain the dignity of the victim. You know, so I don't want to read those graphic details like we did, you know, in the Eliza Fletcher case. I read through the autopsy and then I took it down because I'm like, it's too far. It was highly requested, but it's too far. I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to do that. And I am sorry to those that I offended by sharing Kiely Rodni's death certificate. As I've said, I am learning and growing. But the good thing is, if you are going to stick around, you'll see. I learn quickly. I adapt quickly. And there are certain things that then I agree with you. I mean, that's the thing. I wish some of the people that want to either troll me or bash me behind my back would rather just say it in my face. And even if my face means my inbox, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com, say it there. Express your disappointment right there. Tell me. Because I'm not untrainable. I'm laughing because in aviation, they would literally categorize people as trainable or untrainable. And if you're untrainable, it's literally like you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. Okay. So there was that. And if you're trainable, that's great. And they look for those. Those are the best pilots in the world. The ones that are trainable. Not the ones that are like 4 stripes. I'm a captain. I'm amazing. I have all these decades of experience. They were problems sometimes, a lot of the times. So we would do CRM training, crew resource management training, and literally try to help people with that type of mentality be open to suggestions, right? Open to think outside the box at the risk of being wrong, and to literally be trainable to say, oh, wow, okay, wait, I need to improve that. This is where I went wrong. This is what I can do better next time. So I'm trainable and I hear you. I literally hear you, even though you didn't say it to me. I hear you guys. I see you on other channels. I watch a lot of YouTube content too. I do a lot of research and I do read a lot of my own. I read almost all my own comments and I read a lot of comments on other channels too. And I see you over there. To you Grizzlies who are over there. Wow, some of you are so amazing. Like you say such positive things even when I'm not around. Like meaning behind my back, you're still so wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm not used to that. I don't come from an environment like that. I also want to address something else, which is like kind of like the elephant in the room. Okay, here's the thing. Number 1, I am not a mother. I have no children. It's me and Mr. Grizzly, a cat and a hamster. Okay, we are not in contact with our families. We emigrated and had a fresh start. That's what we connected on. And here we are. I do not plan to have children. I've never wanted to have children. I'm literally one of those that as a teenager, I was like, I'm never having children. And I still don't have them. And you get those people in life. And I think there is nothing wrong with that. I don't know why there's this expectation that, oh, my word, if you don't have it, there's something wrong with you. Okay. But I've never wanted to have children. I don't have children. So I know that a lot of Grizzlies are moms or grandmas or both, right? Of course. So the thing is, I thank you so much for your feedback and for your emails in saying, you know, over there, like when you read out, let's say I read out Kylie's mom's statements. They say they didn't feel my usual empathy in reading it out, that I read it out a little bit too robotically, that it sounded like I don't have much empathy. Well, the thing is that not only did I have a mother that I can barely relate to who was a narcissist. So there's no maternal vibes. I've never had it. It is literally the absolute heartbreak in me. I walk around and I've lived with a broken heart my entire life. Don't get me crying now. Okay. I live every day with a broken heart and no one can fix it. There is nothing that can break your heart more than your own mother not loving you or not knowing how to love you. I think my mother loved me in her own way, but man, we see a lot of those own ways in true crime as well. You know what I mean? It's like one step away from that. And so sometimes it's difficult for me, and I might read things like that a little bit. I'm working on it, but a little bit robotically, because I'm actually shielding myself from my own pain. Because to see a mother pleading for a daughter like that is amazing to me and painful. Because what you don't also realize is that I myself am technically a missing person, except no one's looking for me. Yes, I'm 38 years old, but at the time in 2013, where I quit my job and got engaged, sold all my stuff, literally sold everything, including the clothes on my back. Like literally, the red flags were everywhere that I was not okay. Nope. My parents were like, you're not the daughter we want, and we will no longer be in contact with you, and that's that. They never filed a missing persons report. They never tried to call me. They never tried to reach me on social media. Nothing. So, as much as there's an urgency for me in covering missing persons cases and helping to find them, do you know that at the same time, simultaneously, how painful that is for me? At the same time, so there's times where you might see like this person has no emotion about this. Yes, we all have our traumas, and I do my best, and I think I cover it in a way as best I can. So just know that, okay? Just know that in doing what I do, there's a lot of pain as well, and I think we all relate on that in this community. I think that we've all been through a lot. I think that we all have a lot of experience with a lot of evil, with a lot of trauma. And no, we shouldn't be like just connecting on that and sharing it, because then we're going to sit in the swamp together. I call it the swamp. We're going to like literally sit in a mental health swamp together. Let's not do that. Let's rather not waste that resilience, get together and use our voices to make an impact. Let's sign petitions, whatever they may be, whatever we've shared. Like look at the Sean Doherty case, okay? Let's sign petitions. Let's literally make a change. Let's put the pressure on so that if there's a case that's not really being looked at, let's get law enforcement looking again. Look at the Daniel Robinson case. It's still unsolved. He's still missing. I talk to David Robinson on a weekly basis. It's so scary to think that Daniel's still missing. There's so many cases that you might think, oh, she's lost interest. I haven't lost interest. I'm literally still following them. I'm literally still looking at everything all the time. So I hope that all makes some sense in what I'm saying. So now let's give an opinion on what I think about the footage in Kiely Rodni's case. When I first looked at the footage, I didn't question where it came from, because I could literally see the link, and it comes from fire cams in the area. It cannot be tampered with or manipulated, in my personal opinion. I know people have conspiracies for everything, but there's the source, there's the footage. You can see any date. The camera has different angles. It generally picks up fires and looks at that. And it was looking on that night at in the general direction of the Prosser Reservoir. There were some fires, which makes sense, in the area. So the thing is, when I first looked at the footage, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I worry that this would be a scenario where we could see things that might not be there. It could be like a firefly, a UFO. It could literally be a raindrop. Do you know how foggy it was that next morning as well? If you fast forward the time a little bit, the fog was thick. So visibility was also reducing, from the time when all the partygoers were driving around. So that's also something to consider, what the visibility would have been like on the ground driving as like slowly but surely fog is rolling in. It wasn't thick yet because we can obviously see the vehicle, but in my opinion, from how a content creator called Gray Hughes Investigates cleaned up that footage and had the daylight overlay and everything, that we could actually see what's going on in that footage. To me, it's very clear. There was also an argument, a debate, whether it's at 12:34 that the car goes into the water or at 12:51 or 52. I do believe that SF Investigates shared the footage on Twitter first, meaning that's where the source was. That's where it was first known to the public about these cameras and things like that. He was saying that it could be at 12:51 the moment it happens. But Gray Hughes, who did a great job of cleaning up the footage, literally shows the timestamps 12:33 and 34, that minute there, and a little bit beyond. So let's look at from 12:32 to 12:35, right? You could see a vehicle. Do we know it's Kiely's vehicle? No. Do we legally know it? No. But the date matches, the timestamp matches when her phone last pinged, and the location matches where her car last went in, and the speed would also match. And it's a little too fast to be pushed in. Thank you to one of the Grizzlies, Stefan, who's also a moderator. And thank you so much for what you sent as well, because he sent me a whole calculation of the speed and everything, analyzing the footage. And long story short, it's a little bit too fast to be pushed in. Even if it drove, slowed down a bit, and then drove again, as people see. But I don't see that. I literally see the headlights on the other side of the shore, yes, and the car driving and making a bit of a right turn. So that would look to me like an attempt to avoid the water, like suddenly be like, oh crap, and then turning, but then still going into the water. And then you literally see the lights in the water, and then the lights go out. In my opinion, that is Kiely's vehicle going to the water. In my opinion, that means straight up accident is what happened here. However, so abduction, no. Murder in the woods, no. Not that I ever speculated that. What else? There's so much that's gone on in this case. It's none of those options now. Now, I know that if we now say, okay, so that would be speculatively Kiely's vehicle going into the water. Now, the next options will begin of what does this mean? Was there a brick on the pedal? To me, unlikely. Was someone else driving the vehicle and then got out and swam out? Possible, but again, for me, it's a little bit unlikely based on how the car drove and then turned and everything. The way that it entered the water, it seems to me more like an accident, right? And which makes sense because everybody there was drunk and high, and they said Kiely was extremely intoxicated by all accounts that we've heard, right? So the thing is, to me, in my own mind, I feel like the car drove into the water, Kiely drove into the water, and it's an accident. Remember, the windshield was also quite damaged, so on impact, if she wasn't wearing her seatbelt, that could make sense then why she wasn't able to fight her way out of the open windows. Possibly, right? But I know there's still going to be a lot of questions. There will always be a lot of questions. We see it in every single case. And trust me, I've got questions too. But at the end of the day, what if we can accept a fact and then say, but there's still these other questions that need to be answered? Like, are we not able to accept that appears to be a car at the same timestamp and everything on the same day driving to the water? So therefore, the most likely and most plausible outcome, even though we're still waiting to hear from law enforcement who are doing an accident investigation, not a homicide investigation. The accident investigation by CHP. So it's an accident, cool. But like, I know that the questions now, are we not able to say, okay, so it's an accident, but what caused it? What happened? Will there be a wrongful death lawsuit? And who? Against who? What's going to happen? Because Kiely was a minor. Somebody gave her alcohol. So, will the family file a wrongful death lawsuit? Because I think it's up to them, right? I doubt it, but we could speculate it. I just feel like there are so many cases to cover, and I, of course, want justice for Kiely. I want to know that that we fought for Kiely. And I believe that we did, because we helped to raise awareness for her case, which then got AWP out there and found her, because law enforcement was convinced she wasn't in the water. Now, I know that's one thing that I'm like, man, with all those resources, including the cameras, whether they had looked at them or not. It is sad that they weren't able to find Kiely right there when AWP could come in and find them right there, but they've got all that sonar experience, right? So let me just say this. I do not bash content creators on this channel. It's not my vibe. I do not bash people who achieve tremendous results like AWP coming out and finding Kiely. Are they allowed to speculate? Yes. Did they hear from a witness, a AAA guy, a roadside assistant? Yes, so much so that they were convinced that they need to go to Boca first, right? Interesting. So I hope that we get to see the other 90% of what he said, because it might be interesting. The story could still be interesting. However, Kiely was missing. Kiely was found. By all appearances, from what we can see on the video, it really looks like a tragic accident. Will there be a wrongful death lawsuit? I don't know. If there is, that's where the fight for justice continues. But until law enforcement comes out and actually gives us the conclusive evidence of what happened in this case, there's not much more to say from my side right now about this case, because there's so many cases to cover. I don't even get to all of them. I feel so guilty all the time because there's so many people out there who are missing or who have been murdered and their cases are completely botched and things like that. So I really want to use my voice to continue to share cases where we can continue to spread awareness and make a difference and help find the people. Okay, so let's continue to do that. For example, even in Debbie Collier's case, they found her very quickly the next day after she went missing. But the state that they found her in and everything in that case is just not adding up. And we need to fight. Like, we're really going to have to keep on looking at this case to fight for her justice. This cannot go cold. It cannot be forgotten. So let's continue to raise awareness for that case. One of the ways you can continue to help to raise awareness is to just go to some previous episodes and continue to share it. You know what I mean? If it's 3 days later, let's say 3 days ago, you shared an episode on Debbie Collier's case. Go back and share it again. It helps. It helps keep it in the algorithm. Make sure you share it on Twitter and tag me if you can. Make sure you use the right hashtags. For instance, hashtag Debbie Collier, right? So that's all categorized nicely so people can find the information. And let's do our best always to use our voices and not waste our resilience. That's my goal. And so for those of you who are here with me, ride or die till the wheels come off, thank you so much. I mean, I'd never expected, but those of you who've been here from the start and who are still here, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And I hope over time you'll see that the thing I prioritize most is character. Character over reputation. Now, I know those two things go hand in hand, but I just find sometimes on YouTube and on social media in general, the thing that people prioritize the most is reputation and what other people think of them. And then they mold everything they do about what other people will think and how they're perceived and, you know, how amazing they are and all that. I just don't do that. I'm a very down-to-earth person. I'm an introvert. I am an empath. And I know sometimes, as I said, that empathy doesn't come across sometimes in some scenarios. If that happens, just know I'm probably in a lot of pain myself and I'm finding things really difficult and I probably have an emotional shield on and I have that ability because guess what? For example, when you're a pilot and if you've had the worst day on earth, I mean, some pilots, let's say this as an example, I saw this a lot. They're going through a divorce. It's really ugly. The divorce is like really getting ugly. They see lawyers that day. There was a rule, right? A mental rule that as soon as you walk onto that aircraft, emotions off. You as a person off. Now you're a pilot and you do your job. You're responsible for people's lives and off you go. Put that all aside. So I have a very strong ability to turn my emotions off. And sometimes you might see me do that. Doesn't mean I don't care. It's probably just because I'm either struggling with something in my personal life, because that also happens even though I'm here almost 7 days a week. I do still have a personal life and there are struggles behind the scenes in my own life and mind and things I'm dealing with and things that even cases can bring up, you know. So yes, but I'm still here. I show up no matter what. You know, I always have the courage to show up. That's what I feel like. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here. I'm just saying that a lot of times You guys don't see what I have to overcome in a day in order to show up here, to be here and be like, welcome to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. I'm not pretending. I'm here. Oh, I'm here. Full heart, full mind, soul. Let's go. But sometimes you might see she's a little bit colder today than usual. What's going on? It might just be that either the case is really difficult for me, but I think it's really important to cover. Or it could be, sure, I'm protecting myself from my own triggers, as I say in a case. Or maybe I really struggled a lot that day to just put a shield up because I'm so used to doing that because I've got a task to do. And this channel I see as a task. It's a mission. It's not a place for me to appear amazing and clever and to be right and the first and just I'm not doing that. I'm here on a mission, okay? We have a mission. And whatever case we're covering, I'm on a mission. The serial killer case I've just covered in Stockton, California is an incredibly time-sensitive, critical case. Keep spreading it. We need to keep talking about it because that person needs to be identified and captured immediately. I think it's now been 10 days since he last murdered someone, a serial killer, okay? That means, given his pattern and his escalating behavior, it's going to happen again anytime soon unless he's caught. That is scary. That means someone's going to lose their life. Like, connect those dots. If people are walking around, living their lives, probably let's say, for instance, worst case scenario, someone in Stockton doesn't even look at social media at all, and they're just walking around at night alone, perfect target for this serial killer. That is a scary thought. That's time critical. We need this information to get out. We need to get it everywhere in case someone can see it and say, you know what, I'm not going to go out alone at night anymore, or I'm going to rather have this as protection, or I'm going to look out for that, whatever it is to keep themselves safe. Safety is a huge thing for me on this channel. It's a vibe. Safety, adrenaline, mission and task orientated, ride or die stamina. That's my vibe. So if you like it, I'm glad you're here. If you don't and you're still here, welcome. I'm glad you're here too. I just hope that you'll at least share the things so that the case, can get out. Don't just lurk to hate. There are hate watchers, I know. I hope that everything I've said makes sense. I hope you understand where I'm coming from, who I am as a person, why I'm doing what I do. So the last thing I will say is thank you. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for listening. I hope it makes more sense. I hope you understand me a little bit better now. I think in the rest of my YouTube career, from this moment forward, I know there will be haters, there will be trolls. You know this when you already get on YouTube. What you don't really expect is that other content creators become your trolls, your bullies, and everything else. That's a bit of a weird experience because you expect it from the comments, right? If you haven't ever started a channel and you're thinking about it, most people worry about the comments, the trolls. That's not the worst. No, there's other things that are worse than that. One being when people who you feel like, I'm in the same boat. We're all content creators in the same genre, and then they bully you and trash you. That is a weird feeling. So what I want to say is, if you happen to see that, while I really appreciate you guys standing up for me, rather don't interact with it because it boosts the algorithm for them. Even a thumbs down boosts the algorithm. So whether you're over there liking it, thumbs downing it, sharing it to talk about it, sharing it with me on email, the links or anything like that, the clips, whatever, it serves no purpose, right? Let people continue to use their platforms as they want to. If they want to spend time doing that, okay, right. But here, we've got a mission, okay? And that mission is just to use our voices to spread awareness for missing persons cases or for those who are victims of crime, and we need to help fight for their justice. We need to raise awareness for cases, and there's so many that I still want to cover. So I will not waste another second of your time and mine talking about this. Thank you for being here. Maybe you'll refer to this video again from the future. If you do, if I'll just be like, okay, listen, go check that out if you want to know the vibe. Hope it makes more sense. Again, I'm sorry if anything I did has offended or hurt anyone. That is never my intention at all. I'm a very protective person. I'm a very loyal person. And in everything I do it with a strategy and with a decision to, there's a purpose in what I do, to try to help the victim or their family. So, but I'm not perfect, and I have made mistakes at times, and I will make mistakes at times. I love talking about true crime. My father was a police officer. That's the only law enforcement experience I have, and I wouldn't exactly say it was positive. The attachment is not so positive. And so the thing is, I've learned a lot from all of that, but am I educated in true crime? Am I sitting here with a degree? No. So with all that being said, and I think I've said enough for today, thank you so much for watching till the end. If you made it to here, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate every single person who supports this channel. Viewing, great source of support. Of course, there's other ways. If you go to grizzlytruecrime.com, you can see all the ways to support the channel. If you want cool perks, I would highly recommend Patreon any day over YouTube membership. On YouTube membership, it's mostly about the emojis and things like that. It's a way to support the channel, but there's not too many perks over here. All the perks are on Patreon. That's where the behind the scenes content is. That's where I film stuff like, like the members. I showed you a tour of a castle here in the Netherlands recently. If you didn't see that, check the members only playlist. But in general, that's what I do on Patreon. Whenever I head out the house, because I'm quite the homebody. But when I head out the house and I go on the train or I go and see a goat farm or gardens or a castle or the city, I film everything. Sometimes I take you guys live with me. The quality of the network connection is not so great here in the Netherlands. I find that it can get very pixelated quickly if you're live streaming. But generally, I film stuff for you guys and I put it over there. There's documents for you over there, true crime documents and things like that. Case discussions. You'll be the first to know about anything. So Patreon is the place to be. So to everyone who supports me in there, thank you so, so much. It means the world to me. I hope that going forward, we as a community know where we stand, what page we're on, that yes, of course, you can have your opinion and we can have differing opinions. But this is the place for adult conversations, okay? This is the place where have an opinion, state your opinion, be kind to each other. Of course, be kind to the host, other chatters, other commenters. We call it keep it grizzly. That means keep it classy, keep it respectful. Don't fight with people. And it's not about being right or wrong. You're allowed to have your opinion. Your feelings are valid, 100% valid. And just know that I don't often share my feelings on my channel because I just feel like that's irresponsible. You know why? It's because there's so many of them. We could go this way and this way and this way and this way. And I just feel like there's a responsibility when you have a channel to make sure that we don't go down too many rabbit holes because guess what? We can get lost in there. We see it happen all the time. But on my channel, when I'm presenting things, you will generally see me present bullet points, timelines, map time, and a highly disciplined way of presenting true crime. When you see me go just a little bit off the discipline track, yes, it's when I'm red flagging people, and I will work on reining that in just a little bit, okay? I will work on it because if I'm going to get snarky, I'm going to get snarky over criminals. I tend to do that because I can't stand it when people think that serial killers are hot, for instance. Like Ted Bundy hot? No. A killer. Think about what he did. Think about the victims and all that. Oh, no. So I have a second channel. It's called G&T. Okay? Like literally like gin and tonic. But like G and T where we spill the tea and I get snarky over there. So if you like that kind of thing, I put it over there. I've compartmentalized it over there. My brain is very compartmentalized, organized, disciplined, and I like to categorize things. It's just how it works, right? So over here on this channel, it's a bit more of the straight and narrow. And yes, sometimes I veer a little bit off when I go like, ooh, red flag over here. But they just like bring it back in and just focus on what the task at hand is. I think in the Kiely Rodni case, we achieved our task of spreading awareness, getting, AWP, not just us single-handedly, as a community, as the whole true crime community, okay? But getting this into the algorithm, AWP became aware of it. They went out there and they found Kiely. If it wasn't for them, she'd still be in the water today. How scary is that thought? Have you thought of that? How scary is that thought? Be grateful that they went out there and found her. So, yes, I've signed the petition because I think they should get the reward. Do I think they should get the family's GoFundMe money? No, not necessarily. But whoever pledged the reward, and I actually, from inside sources at some point, heard who donated the money. Like, donate the money to AWP because you said that if she's found, whoever has information leading to finding Kiely or bringing her home gets the reward. So I think they should. You know what I mean? Anyway, out of respect and everything, no matter what, they're human beings. They like to speculate. They have thoughts too, Don't put people on a pedestal ever. Don't let people put themselves on a pedestal either and then control your thoughts. That's not good either. It's not healthy. It's toxic, okay? So over here, what I try to do is because I know, believe me, I think all of us know what a toxic environment is, right? My mission is to not have a toxic environment. All thoughts are welcome. Just keep it kind and respectful. Let's talk like adults always. Let's explore all options. I will never, ever just explore just like 1 or 2 options of what happened. We will explore all options possible to see, is there any way in which we can help? Is there any information that could be of use to law enforcement? Is there a tip we could call in? Is there something we could share? Is there someone we could talk to that could help spread more awareness? Whatever it is. So let's continue to do that. Thank you so much. It's because of you guys that I'm here. Without you, you realize I'm nothing. Like, I'm not here if you're not here. If it's just me talking to 0 people, like literally, what is the point of that? What does that do? So I really appreciate you. It's because of you that I am Gisela K of Grizzly True Crime. And I'm proud of you guys, man. I'm so proud of this channel and being here with you guys and all the work we do over here. And I give it my absolute all. Enough said. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. We've got plenty of cases to still discuss. There's so much to talk about in the cases we're already discussing, never mind the cases that are now coming up. I saw that the FBI is now getting involved in Debbie Collier's case, which is great news. They're going to help so much in the phone data analysis. That's going to be really great. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Thank you so much, and I will see you again soon. Bye.